So every company, every organization talks about what's going to happen in the future. You're always having conversations about what's coming next month, what's coming next quarter, what's coming next year. You're always thinking long-term and planning. The challenge I see with that is that when companies or organizations talk about that, they talk about it from their perspective. And we are naturally overconfident in terms of how we think about others are going to react. So when I do war games before the company, the organization, sort of has their planning, it's like, well, this competitor isn't as good as us, and they're not as deft as us, and they don't have as good as products as us, and they're not going to beat us on price, and their costs are worse than us, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're worse than us. And so we assume that we're going to win, because every organization should assume they're going to win, right? You're rarely going to walk into an organization and say, "Oh yeah, we're awful. There's no way we're ever going to be successful in this industry. We don't have good products. Our prices are atrocious. Customer service." No one says that, right? But when you simulate it out and force someone to role play the other side, you get confronted with a lot more realistic pushback. And so what I try to tell folks is you don't have to have a big 3-day simulation where it's offsite and you have all this different rigorous structure around it. Just say, whenever we get together monthly for our planning meeting, I want Alon, you to play the Bank of Israel. And Zvi, I want you to play us. And Ronan, I want you to play our biggest competitor. And Monica, I want you to play someone from the US. And just let's talk about what's going to happen in the industry in the next 3 months. But you have to talk about it from the perspective of your role. And that creates a much more objective set of, oh my gosh, we didn't know that. Alone could say, I don't know how the Bank of Israel is going to play this one out. All right, let's go figure this out. And Monica says, yeah, I think we're going to be there. We need to watch out for the company I'm playing because this is right up their alley. They're going to be strong. Oh, we need to prepare for that. Yeah. And so when you get this egocentric view of we're always better than everyone else and we're going to survive and we don't need to look at it from the world from other people's points of view, you miss a lot of that stuff. And the biggest outcome from doing the war games was people realizing, wow, this is a lot more challenging than I thought because I never expected those other players to do what they did. And it's not that they say that those were not accurate. The response is always, oh my gosh, that is extraordinarily, I can't believe how accurately you portrayed everyone else. And man, that's the really scary threat we have to face. And so it's not as complex as having big organized events. And to your point, Alon, you don't have to invest a lot of money up front. But if you embed that, and this is throughout the organization, right? Whenever you're having those conversations, monthly, quarterly, whatever, just say, hey, let's take 15, 20 minutes and look at it from your role play assignment point of view. Let's just talk it out of how you're going to look at it and see what that raises. And if it raises to the point of we got to do some real work, then let's invest money in training people to get ready. And if it's not, well, then we don't have to.